Right, Heat 12 up next for X30 Senior. As we'll head back to juniors after this one. Here's your starting grid. Matthias van der Kerkhoff looking for a fourth straight victory in the heat stages of this competition. Lines up on pole position. Patrice Kowalski, also a heat winner this weekend, lines up on the outside of the front row. Victor Louis yet to win a heat race. Starts on the inside of row 3. He's also going to be joined by a driver that has featured at the sharp end of this field. He's not always had the best of luck, Quentin Van Leeuwen. Clément Outron and Hubert Petit round out row 3. Clément Massot and Lucas Horsica round out row 4, rounding out the top 10. Scheduled to be Alexis Constant and Maxime Blanchemin. Charlie Bloom and Pepin Steiger round out row 6 with Marcus Bloom and Maxime Prudent set to start on row 7. Zachary Gunn and James Merkelberg round out row 8. Gaz Hothaus and Augustin Boulet, row 9. Dennis Bowman and Tom Schultz round out your top 20, followed by Ellie Dax, Andy Schoenherder, Florent Dierda, Germany's Moritz Moore, Raphael Boulard and Casper Norman completing the 26-strong grid. So Maxime Blanchemin and Maxime Prudent, non-starters as we had yesterday. Also, Florent Dierda is going to be starting from the dummy grid. So out of the 26 starters, 24 will go racing for 10 minutes plus an additional lap. So, revs up, lights on, et c'est parti! We are green, we are racing. And Van der Kerkhoff decided to switch to the outside of the front row. That is at the pole sitter's discretion, but he's being hounded initially by Quentin Van Leeuwen. Patrice Kowalski has dropped a couple of places in the early skirmish. He's dropped down from 2nd to 3rd place as they come out of turn number 3. One driver might be going onto the muddy grass, just about avoids it. I think that could have possibly been Marcus Bloom in the 2-1-0 as diving to the in. Look at the bump there going into turn 6. So that is where the undulation lies, and that can catch out the drivers, especially when you've got these kind of weather conditions very much front and centre. Too wide into the chicane. Oh, that's close. And both pairs nearly exchanging sidewall rubber at that point, as we will head down the hill for the first time here on lap 1 out of a possible scheduled 10 laps of racing. Florent Dierda has made it out onto the circuit. It's got a little bit of catch-up, is about the best part of 6 seconds behind Casper Norman, who is down in 23rd at the moment. Possible opportunity for Victor Louis to get through, and I think might have just done so on Hubert Petit, which is the case. Clément Massot, Alexis Constant, Lucas Horsica making it 3 wide through turn 3, and now they start to squabble a little bit. Horsica in the TD can't get through. A couple of drivers using that inside curving through 4. Not easy to navigate under these wet weather conditions, but there could be a possibility of the wet weather tyres starting to disperse the standing water on the tarmac. Hubert Petit just a little bit of a touch with the back bumper of Alexis Constant going through into turn 8. At the moment, Matthias van der Kerkhoff in the white crash helmet at the front of the field is currently fastest driver out on circuit. We are very shortly going to be completing lap number 2. So Matthias van der Kerkhoff leads. Oh, dive and a half there on Clément Massot. I've got a feeling that would have been more than likely Lucas Horsika, which was the case. It was a beautiful move. And that's a place where you don't really expect that kind of overtaking. But in these wet weather conditions, as Horsika up the inside of teammate Kowalski. And that is a change for the Czech Republic driver, who's now up back into P5. And right with them is the TV cart of Clément Massot, who got through at turn 5 on Kowalski. And here goes Alexis Constant diving up the inside, runs deep, and he loses 2 positions. One to Patrice Kowalski, and I think that might be Marcus Gloom just behind, or Charlie Gloom. And look now, they're all bumping over the curbing. That would have been Marcus Gloom, so Charlie Gloom not too far behind either. Petit looking for a move on Alexis Constant. Through at the hairpin. Oh, Constant, Code Brown, clean up on aisle 3, narrowly saves it. Great cut control from the 222. Bit of a wobble, and that just goes to show you go off track, you are at the behest of the elements. Matthias van der Kerkhoff sets the new fastest lap of the race, 1 minute 11.646. He has a lead of just over 3/4 of a second. Alexis Constant losing out 2. Gims Merkelberg, and there is, I think that's Pepin Steiger in the 227 trying to get through. Nearly tries to get up the inside through into turn 5. Little bit of a love tap to the rear bumper of Constant. Another one heading into turn 6. Just trying to unsettle, but obviously doing too much of that might cause the clips on the front bumper to go inwards, and then that is a non-appealable 5-second time penalty. So 5 minutes and 23 seconds, plus an additional lap. Victor Louis and Lucas Horsika are now going into battle. This is the, and they've got Clément Massot and Marcus Gloom not too far behind. That was a great move there from Horsika. Through, threading the eye of the knee, lap turn number 14. Gets the job done, and Horsika back up into what is now 4th on the road. Horsika started on the outside of row 4 in 8th place. Clément Outron closing that gap to Matthias van der Kerkhoff to what is now a 0.6 advantage in favour of the 236 from Victory Lane. Clément Massot also has a nice little turn of pace with rotation through the corners. He's going to dive to the inside through at turn 8 and gets through. So good move there by Clément Massot on Nicely Karting's Victor Louis. Une belle bagarre entre les deux pilotes belges, parce que Clément Massot a passé Victor Louis. Right, black and white warning flag going out to the 227 of Pepin Steiger from the Netherlands as Lucas Horsika through. That's third. That's third for the TD racing kart driver. No, he did not quite get through. Oh, a little bit wide there from Quinten van Leeuwen, who cuts across the nose out of turn 2 and into turn 3. He's going to run it deep, trying to cut off the opportunity for Lucas Horsika, who is gunning for 3rd place. And then there could be a few drivers waiting in the wings while Clément Massot is clearly there. Horsika tries to look up the inside. Van Leeuwen again closes the door very quickly through at turn 6 out of 7. Now into 8 is a little bit further back. An exchange of positions between Victor Louis and I think that's yeah, that's the, well, that's 216 of Victor Louis ahead of Marcus Gloom. And, well, Quinten van Leeuwen now has lost out, but it was to Clément Massot. Up the inside through goes Ostricourt. There's one of the RSD carts as well. I think that was Victor Louis. No, it's Marcus Gloom. And Van Leeuwen starting to struggle a little bit on the Henze Racing kart entry. So 2.5 minutes to go. Matthias van der Kerkhoff is comfortably controlling proceedings, on course for a 4th straight heat victory here in X30 Senior. Doing a stellar job, as there's going to be a change and another position lost. Victor Louis gets through at turn 5 on Quinten Van Leeuwen from the Netherlands. So that is Van Leeuwen down to 7th on the road. And, well, a lot of chances being taken by drivers. And, well, we saw one through turn 8. And that was Marcus Gloom taking the advantage over the 327, representing the Czech Republic, Lukas Ostricourt on the TD kart. So we have just started lap number 8 out of a possible 10 laps. Clément Massot across the line, up from 7th, now 3rd. Marcus Gloom up from the inside of row number 7, started 13th, now up to 4th. Lukas Ostricourt started on the outside of row number 4 and runs in 5th place. Victor Louis 6th, Quinten Van Leeuwen, Charlie Gloom, Jim Melkerbach. Patrice Kowalski has been struggling and is now down in 10th place. And he's only 7/10 ahead, pretty much, of Hubert Petit, but, well, Clément Outran has closed that gap to Matthias van der Kerkhoff. Now out of the chicane. At the top right-hand corner of the circuit, van der Kerkhoff defends from Outran. So Outran trying to see if he can make the move stick. And at the moment, van der Kerkhoff is holding his line, but up the inside, side by side across the line, van der Kerkhoff goes to the right. Outran, will he take the lead at turn 1? The answer's a resounding yes, but van der Kerkhoff's going to switch to the inside, through into 2, and they nearly clash sidewalls. Van der Kerkhoff back through, slides to the right via the rear axle, under braking for turn 3. And Outran back through, retaking of the lead at turn number 5 by the 288. Clément Outran now fractionally about 2 to 3 kart lengths in front of Matthias van der Kerkhoff. Now, even if van der Kerkhoff finishes 2nd place to Clément Outran, up until that particular complex of corners in the middle of the circuit that we just went through, van der Kerkhoff up until that point had done a sterling job to hold on, but Outran had the pace to catch and pass the victory lane driver. So this time around, Clément Outran, rather than Matthias van der Kerkhoff, will bring us on to the final lap of this race. Outran has the fastest lap of a 1:11.385. So it now goes to an advantage. Marcus Gloom now past Clément Massot. Marcus Gloom a gagné 10 places. À la grille de départ, Marcus Gloom a commencé l'épreuve dans cette manche à 13e position. Et il a gagné 10 places dans 10 tours ici en Ostricourt. C'est une belle remontée pour les pilotes belges. Mais en ce moment, c'est le Français numéro 248, Clément Outran, qui est à la tête de la course. Et on est dans la dernière tour. Et les derniers virages s'approchent plus vite pour le pilote français. Et après 10 tours, le gagnant, Clément Outran, avant de Matthias van der Kerkhoff en 2e. 3e, bien fait, bien roulé, Marcus Gloom, avant de Clément Massot. Lukas Ostricourt rounds out your top 5. Victor Louis, Quinten van Leeuwen, Charlie Gloom, Patrice Kowalski and James Merkelbach round out your top 10. Well, there has been a change because the 293 just got a, well, there has been a slight change. Dennis Bullman gets a 5-second push to pass penalty post-race. Charlie Gloom finishes 8th, James Merkelbach rounds out 9th, and Patrice Kowalski completes the top 10. Hubert Petit, and, well, good effort by Arne Schoenhera, the number 302. The MCK Racing. Belgium finishing ahead of Alexis Constant, Pepin Steiger, Zachary Gernon and Casper Norman round out the top 16. Casper Norman making up 10 places, of course, that was including making that 8, as we had 2 non-starters in the form of Maxime Blanchemin and Maxime Prudhomme. Gaz Haus, Raphael Boulard, Tom Scholz, Moritz Moore round out your top 20, Augustin Boulet, Florent Dirdin, Dennis Bullman and Ellie Dax round out the finishing order, with Blanchemin and Prudhomme non-starters. But Clément Autran from Dream Racing breaks Matthias van der Kerkhoffer's win streak here in Heat 12.